Okay, this is a very important piece of Tzadok. Torah Nikra Lashon Mored Derech. The word Torah is this word as same word as Mored, which means to instruct, but it's specifically Mored Derech. Mored Derech is somebody who is a guide, gives guidance where to go on a trip. Shumorim Lamedes Ladam. Torah instructs and guides a person. And we don't mean it just teaches a person laws and rules. Because even when you learn a kachim, which doesn't give you any law or rule which is practical in this world, where there's no Beis Hamikdash, it's certainly not practical for people who are not Kohanim. Even there was a Beis Hamikdash. Yet nevertheless, Nikra Osik B'Torah. It's called Osik B'Torah. You're involved in Torah, right? So it's not the Torah gives you a practical way of life. But like Chazal say in the Medrash, the light in Torah brings a person back to do good. So the Torah is moret not through halacha necessarily, although that's also true, but through the or it possesses. The light of Torah the light of Torah protects a person and saves him from sin. That's what it means. It brings it back to good. In that the light of Torah saves a person, protects a person, saves from sin. So the this idea is a very important idea for what we were talking about before, which is that the Torah in and of itself saves a person, and learning more Torah, regardless of which one learns, doesn't have to be Chassidus, doesn't have to be something which directly relates to what you your problem. It has to be Torah in general. It has a tremendous light. It's interesting. Rabbi Salanter says that if a person has a specific problem, they should learn the halachas which have to do with that problem. Because there's a specific midah which they have a problem, they should learn the halachas which have to do with that midah. But that's not. Rabbi Tzadok is going much further than that. Rabbi Tzadok is saying that in the Torah, and everybody probably agree. I'm not saying Rabbi Tzadok wouldn't agree with this, but he's saying the light of the Torah is more derech with the light which it imparts to you. Rak, but he says there's a condition here. Rak my meaning. So if you go to the right in Torah, Shusama de Chayin, when the Torah is a drug of life, the Chayin, V'or HaKol, and when the mashal of Torah being Torah's Chayin, and mashal of Torah being Torah Or, that we call Torah life and call Torah light, it's the same thing. Like it says in the pasuk, with you is the source of life, and your light we see light. But in any event, that means that you're learning Torah the right way, which is for also a question of itself, what it means to learn Torah Lishma. According to HaTzaddik, we assume that Torah Lishma means in order to make yourself a better person. And again, it doesn't mean because you learn halachas makes you a better person, but the light of Torah makes you a better person. But if a person learns not Lishma, Eino Masiga, or he doesn't obtain the light. So it doesn't teach him anything. And it doesn't bring him back to good, which is a very amazing thing. Because we normally understand that Torah brings you back to good, even if you learn slowly Shema. It says in Tzadok, no. You have to learn in order to become a better person. Says shame Torah. It's not called Torah. Because Torah, he says, is when it's mored, derech. It shows you a way. If you're not learning Torah to show you a way, it's not called Torah. So what's it called? It's included in that's what's called Torah Babel. Babel means you go blah 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 blah, and you're not necessarily. It's like Torah watered down, or Torah reduced to something much less significant than it actually is, like a person who's babbling or chattering or talking idle talk, right? So, but it says these to be Yerushalmi, so brachas to tavim. It's good. Don't think it's wrong, bad. Lishma means even though you're not going to get the light now, because you're just babbling, because you're not learning Lishma, but eventually you're going to get the light. So start off. It's good, right? Don't give up just because you learn Lishma. No, but no, that you're not going to get the light of Torah unless you learn Lishma. So it's like a tool to get there, but you're on the way, but you're not there. So your Torah is not called yet Torah; it's called Patataya Deraisa. The fascinating story. So he says that L'chein, and that's what he says again, an amazing thing. It says here, L'chein, onu mebarchim la'asok b'divrei Torah, b'divrei Torah, la'asok b'divrei Torah v'lo b'Torah. Amazing, amazing words on it. It says, why is the bracha la'asok b'divrei Torah? To be involved in words of Torah. Why is it not la'asok b'Torah? To involve in Torah. So he's saying, the man suffering man rakia, who is confident and who can push himself up and say, Lios batuach sheyasuk ba, that he's involved in it. In other words, to learn Lasok b'Torah, we need to learn Torah Lishma. To learn Torah the real way. And who can say about themselves, learn Torah the real way? So what am I? Raka koha kapanim divrei Torah. It's words of Torah. Even if I'm not learning Torah itself, I'm learning words of Torah. Upatatai the Raisa, the Torah Babel. Sha'osa the burim heim HaTorah b'makom acher, where the Torah in different contexts. In other words, if I was not to write Madrega, this would be actually Torah for me. But for me, right now, it's Divrei Torah. But that's also good. Right? That's the point. So I'm saying, yes, it's true. You won't get the full light of Torah unless you learn Torah Lishma. And that means you learn Torah in order to experience the light, which is going to make you a good person. But even you're not doing that right now. You learn for all sorts of other reasons. Keep doing it. And he says, the David said, mitzvah. That's also a mitzvah. And you make the bracha on even divrei Torah, even the patataya d'oraisa. You know, there's an actual English word, I think comes from Latin, maybe you have in Spanish too. Patter. Patter means it's patataya. It's Torah patter. So making a bracha on Torah patter. And it also puts kedusha. It doesn't bring that or in chiyus, but it gives you kedusha. It's a fascinating thing. Kedusha you get, or in chiyus you don't get. In other words, you're uplifted by it, but it doesn't give you that direct illumination, which you would get if you're learning actual, so to speak, Torah as opposed to patataya d'oraisa. And how do we know this is the case? Because it said it's learned from the commandment in the Torah, and we say in Shema, dibarta bam. Shedarsh Wazal Yuma Chazal explained this mitzvah of the Bar Tabum, amazing thing. He says you can chatter, you can babble, you can patter in all sorts of things, right? So the Bar Tabum says your patter should be in words of Torah, not in Dvarim B'Teilim. So it's the same level, kind of. Dvarim B'Teilim means idle chatter. Okay, but so don't chatter about idle things. Chatter about Torah. So that's what it's saying. So that's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah b'nei atzah daber divrei Torah. It's a mitzvah by itself. The words say divrei Torah. Rakud somar, but it means to say, even words which are we're just saying, so there shouldn't be dvarim b'teilim. In other words, a person is talking Torah, not because he's really getting the or of Torah, but just his babble. So Torah babble as opposed to secular babble. A beautiful idea. That's what we say afterwards. After we say Lasok Divrei Torah, we say afterwards, Va'arevna, make it sweet. Right? Va'arevna Divrei Torah Befinu. The second part of the Bechas Torah is make Torah sweet for us. Mevakshim al Esek Lishma. And that's considered to be asking to Hashem to make Torah Lishma for us. By making Torah pleasant and sweet in our mouths. So the Divrei Torah, right, the Torah Babel, should become sweet. And that sweetness makes it lishma. In other words, if a person finds the sweetness in Torah, that means a person finds the or in Torah. A person finds the or in Torah, so then his Torah can be lishma. So they were saying, and it's interesting because there are several sources that say that if you're learning and enjoying it, enjoying the fact that it gives you or, that's what learning Lishma means. Because it's learning it as a Moreh Derech. You're learning it as teaching you a way, a guidance, a way to lead your life. And this will increase your desire to learn. Until we reach through this, Madregas lom de sorasecha. At the end of the bracha, we say, We should all know your name, whatever that means, not discuss that. The lomdei sorasecha. Not lomdei sorasecha. At the beginning of the bracha, we say lasok b'divrei Torah, to be involved in words of Torah. By the end of the bracha, we say we should be lomdei sorasecha, learning the actual Torah. Because a person progresses. The person said, the bracha starts, okay, we should be involved in the Torah. And even if we're not getting fully out of it, it's not lishma, we want to be osek b'divrei Torah. And they say, v'arevno es divrei Torah, so make it sweet for us. Make it that we can see the light and the chiyus, the life force. And then we get the magic of lomdei sorasecha. V'lo divrei Torah secha. Moshkasa, like it says, we talk shalol lishma ba lishma. From shalol lishma, you come to lishma. It's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece of a very fundamental piece. So and a person can start any day. It's not necessarily that you start off the first 10 years of your life, or 20 or 30 years, and learn shalol lishma, and then later on, the next 30 years, you learn lishma. No, every day could be like this. A person can get up in the morning and not want to learn, and feel not into it, and his words of Torah are the Raisa. It's Torah pattern. He forces himself to be involved in it, or if somebody else forces him to be involved in it, or he gets paid for it. But then, he gets into it, and he gets orev, he gets muscle, he gets pleasant, gets sweet. Then the Torah he learns later on, the same day, can become lomdei sorasecha. And I think it's the thing Reb Chaim Volozhin says. He says that you can learn Torah shalol lishma for 8 hours a day. And of that 8 hours, a few minutes might be lishma. When you forget all other reasons why you're learning, and you're just learning because you're totally involved in Torah and immersed in Torah, which is Reb Chaim's definition of lishma. It's the literature, definitely lishma, that you learn Torah completely without any cheshbonos, any other reasons. He says in that moment, those few moments of lishma, they make the whole thing worthwhile. So even though you started shalol lishma, you finished shalol lishma, hours of shalol lishma, doesn't matter. The moments that are lishma, so according to Reb Chaim, when you have no other reason to learn, just learn it yourself. According to Tzadok, they're not so different. According to Tzadok, when Torah is really sweet and it really gives you life force, that's what makes everything worthwhile. And again, it can happen anytime, any day. It can happen. It happens to you all the time that they start out shalol lishma, they come lishma in that day, in that hour, in that moment, and that makes it all worthwhile. Okay, it's a very, very good piece. We'll stop here for today. I have to go. But this is a very fundamental and beautiful piece of Tzadok. And we'll be in touch. Take care.